Hey guys, welcome back to Prep Course sessions on verbal ability for CAT. Today we're going to be discussing a short but sweet subject that's very essential for the construction of sentences. Subject-verb agreement. This won't take long, just a few thumb rules. Let's go. What's up guys? Welcome back to Prep Course sessions on verbal ability. This is basic grammar, subject-verb agreement. It's going to impact your grammar no matter what course you're doing, what test you're sitting for. And this is one area like similar as modifiers where they can confuse you very easily, but once you know the ground rules, this is really easy. So what is subject-verb agreement about? Very, very simply put, every sentence has a subject and a verb. What these guys are going to try to do, it's a very lazy way of actually testing your English. It's a very lazy way of giving you questions to solve, because all you do is keep making the sentence longer and longer and putting in more gap between the subject and the verb till you realize that the subject doesn't match the verb anymore, and you can miss it because there's suddenly 20 words in between. So, for example, if you see a sentence like "our neighbors likes us," it's very, very obviously wrong. There's no doubt here at all. Now, if you see a sentence like our neighbors with 8 dogs, all named Cheesecake, likes us, it's still pretty obvious that the sentence is wrong. Neighbors and likes doesn't mix. If they make it the choice of our neighbors in Delhi, the capital of India, to have 8 dogs, all named Cheesecake, and 13 cats, all named Souffle. If you have animals, please don't do this, firstly. Confuse us. Now this is starting to get tricky. And why I said this is a lazy way of testing you is because what they did was pretty obvious, pretty easy. They just made the sentence longer and longer and longer without actually putting in any thought into it. And suddenly, the problem that happens is suddenly what is the subject of the sentence? Is it the neighbors? Are the neighbors confusing you? How do you find out? Basically, just remove components. The choice of our neighbors in Delhi. In Delhi, the neighbors are in Delhi, remove that part. The choice of our neighbors, the capital of India is describing Delhi, remove that part for now. Right now your aim is to understand what is the action happening in the sentence. The subject and the verb, what are they? The choice of our neighbors to have 8 dogs, remove the names, and 13 cats, remove the names, confuse us. The choice of our neighbors, confuse us, once you've removed everything else. Of our neighbors is also a modifier. The choice, confuse us. Now that you've removed everything else and simplified the sentence, now you see the error. It needs to be the choice confuses us. All these modifiers in the middle, we've done the class on modifiers before this. I'll drop in a link in the comments. That's also very, very important. It's actually getting to the same point. The modifiers are what they're using to make the sentences much longer. And the disconnect between the subject and the verb is what they're using to confuse you. So, the choice blah 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 confuses us. The key is to simplify. What is the sentence talking about? What is the subject of the sentence? What is the verb? Are they matching? Literally the topic is subject-verb agreement, and that's all it means. We've just done this sentence. The construction of a strong bridge between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai will be able to bear the load of thousands of vehicles every day. Once again, remove the additional descriptions, relationships, modifiers, and you're left with the construction will be able to bear the load, which doesn't work. The construction is not going to bear the load. So this is actually a bit of a sidebar. This is a modifier problem, not per se a subject-verb agreement problem. But again, it is the same context. The same kind of problem, the same kind of method they're using to confuse you. Here the bridge has to be able to bear the load, but the sentence makes it seem like the construction has to be able to bear the load, which doesn't work. How do you understand what parts of the sentence you can remove? This is a general piece of advice. This won't apply always, but look at the prepositions. The construction of a strong bridge between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. So between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, remove it. It's talking about the bridge. Of a strong bridge, you can remove it. It's talking about the construction. The construction is the subject of the sentence. Will be able to bear the load of thousands of vehicles every day. More examples. In an overcrowded and overpopulated area, the tendency of stray and feral cats who scavenge for food from garbage left outside by humans are likely to grow in number. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Remove everything else and you're left with the tendency are likely to grow in number. So there are multiple problems in this sentence, both related to the subject. The tendency is singular. You can't say the tendency are likely to grow. And secondly, the tendency will not grow in number. The tendency will it can just grow. So you're left with, in an overcrowded and overpopulated area, the tendency blah 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 is likely to increase. That would be the correct answer. And in fact, the other way to solve this is maybe the sentence is saying that the number of stray and feral cats is likely to grow. Again, not in number. You can't say the number is likely to grow in number. The number is likely to increase. The right answer will be one of these. They can't give you both and ask you to choose. Singulars and plurals are they are the crux of this, basically. Singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, plural verb. It is actually as simple as that. He goes versus they go. But obviously they're not going to give you such a simple example, right? One way of confusing you is by using pronouns such as each, everyone, everything, either. You can see this list here. These are all singular pronouns. None of these is going to be plural. You can't say somebody are at the door. Whoever are at the door. So you might have heard sentences like, whoever are you talking about? How is there an are there? So two things. One is there, whoever is not replacing the subject. You are talking about someone, right? So the are needs to match you. You can't say whoever is you talking about. Secondly, whoever is replacing the object, not the subject, therefore it needs to be whomever. That's very, very important. The difference between who and whom. And all the, either of us is going, neither of us is going. These are all always singular. This is also a very common problem. You might have heard sentences like either of us are going. No. Or neither of us are going. It should be is. None of us are going. No. None of us is going. Whoever is at the door, each of them is going. Now we get to some more tricky parts. Sorry. What if my brother is going? That's fine. My sisters are going. That's fine. Either my brother or my sisters dash going. Is going or are going? Neither my brother nor my sisters are / is staying. How do you solve this problem? Basically, whichever subject is closer to the verb, that's what you go with. Going there are either my sisters or my brother. That's a very complex, very convoluted sentence construction, but it's perfectly valid. Is either my brother or my sisters going? Why are we using is? Because my brother, the subject, my brother is closer to the verb. Are either my sisters or my brother going. Are is the verb here. It's closer to my sisters, therefore we use the plural form. And there is no problem. My brother and my sisters are going, my sisters and my brother are going. There's no doubt here. Another complication. My brother as well as my sisters is going. My sisters along with my brother are going. Why? Because as well as and along with are not the same as and. Also together with. Here, look at the first sentence. My brother as well as my sisters is going. Why are we saying is here? Because the subject of the core sentence is actually my brother is going. And now you want to add more information. Therefore, you say my brother as well as my sisters. The sentence stays the same, is going. Why is this different from and? Because, well, if the purpose of the sentence were to talk about both of them in equal measure, then you would just say and. My brother and my sisters are going. Here, you're using as well as or along with to differentiate. To say that, look, the focus is, the subject is my brother. Having said that, there are other people who are going with him. So we add them in, as well as my sisters. The reason you're using as well as instead of and is this. If they were both equally important, you would just say and. Also, more complications. 2/3 of rhinoceroses, definitely not rhinoceroses, that would be like a flower, are in danger because of the Assam floods. However, 2/3 of the rhinoceros population is in danger because of the Assam floods. What's the difference? In the first one, the subject is the rhinoceroses, plural. The second one, the subject is the population. So what are we saying here? Things like percentages, 2/3, 1/3. How do you choose what subject form to use? Just look at what's next to it. What's the actual subject? Rhinoceroses are in danger. The rhinoceros population is in danger. If you add 2/3, 1/3, whatever at the front, it doesn't make a difference. 60% of rhinoceroses are in danger. Same thing. Because, and 60% of the rhinoceros population is in danger. Some of the bread is stale. Some is not going to decide your subject form. Because you would say the bread is stale, not the bread are stale. Some of the slices of bread are stale. Some of the kids have left. Therefore, some, few, many, a percentage, a fraction, they will not determine your subject form. The verb form. The subject will determine the verb form. Collective nouns, there's just one trick here. Collective nouns broadly are singular. The team has decided. Our team has won. The jury has deliberated. The committee has decided. The association has reached a conclusion. The company is going to grow this year. The orchestra is playing beautifully. The group has decided. They're all singular. Just keep in mind this one exception. If we are talking from the perspective of different members of the group. For example, if the jury members are unable to reach a conclusion. If the jury is acting as one, it's a singular. However, if the jury cannot act as one, then you use the plural form. The jury were unable to decide between themselves, because here the focus is more on the members of the jury. If you say the members of the jury, absolutely, very, very clearly it's going to be plural, because members is the keyword now. So, here, but even if you don't mention it, since we're talking about a case where the jury is not unanimous, there is no one core idea, comprehensive solution moving forward, you've actually split the jury into parts and you've made it plural. Let's take some quick examples. Many bird watchers, or birders as they prefer to be called. Just read the whole sentence actually. Let me just give you 15 seconds for that. How do you actually? So my point here is not to give you the answer. I'll have to see actually. I haven't seen this one for a while. But how do you approach these questions? Simplify, simplify, simplify. Many bird watchers or birders as they prefer to be called, look, the blank is way ahead. This is a modifier, remove it for now. Many bird watchers keep journals called life lists. They're doing something in their life list, remove. Many bird watchers keep journals called life lists, blah blah blah. They have seen and identified, typically beginning with the feathered creatures. The only part that matters here is bird watchers is plural. Observed in one's own backyard. You use one's own backyard if you start the sentence with one. One must take care of what happens in one's backyard. That's not the case here. The subject is bird watchers, their own backyard. Theirs doesn't fit because this is not possessive. One's, again, one needs to take care of what happens in one's backyard. Yes, here we're talking about bird watchers, we use their. Simplify the sentence. Some of the milk. Milk is singular. Therefore, seems to be contaminated. As we discussed, some is not going to determine the verb form. The subject is milk. That determines the verb form. Seems is the right answer. Rice and rajma, every Delhiite's favorite dish. Reminds, remind, will remind, is reminding. So two of these are just tense forms that can be ignored. The question is reminds or remind. It's plural, right? So rice and rajma remind me of my childhood spent in Delhi. But reminds sounds correct. The key here is to look at the modifier. Here the modifier description becomes important. Every Delhiite's favorite dish. Not favorite dishes or ingredients or food types. Favorite dish. Therefore, rajma chawal here is one dish. We are not talking about rice separately and rajma separately and then rice and rajma become two subjects. No, this is one dish. Therefore, the right answer is reminds. In India, a large section of voters still. What is the subject here? Is the subject voters? No, it's vote. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Is the subject voters or is it section? The subject here is section. As we said, a population can be the subject. Here, the subject is section of voters is describing what the section comprises of. Section is singular. Therefore, the answer is votes. Last example. Several of the cricket players in New Zealand also belongs, were belonging, was belonging, belong. So again here the question comes down to belongs versus belong. What will decide the answer? Cricket players. Plural, therefore belong to the national rugby team. Several makes no difference here. The answer depends on cricket players. So that basically is subject-verb agreement. This wasn't a very long session because it's not a very complicated topic. Just a few thumb rules you have to keep in mind. The subject and the verb have to match and just try removing everything else in the middle to bring the subject and verb closer together to see what your answer is. Any questions at all? Drop us a comment and we'll drop links to the other classes also in the comments. And any doubts you have generally about verbal ability, drop us a line. And keep an eye out for our other videos also. If you like this video, click like on this video, it really helps us. and subscribe to the channel. We'll be coming out with more content for across sections, across entrance exams. So yeah, see you soon in the next classes. Next class is going to be on tenses. Thanks guys.